second, see if things get up. That's... Why is it on the side? Alright, so it's not on the side when I click off. When I click back in, it's not on the side, it's just black screen. That's so weird. Okay. Do some messing around. See if anything good comes from anything I try. Alright. Let's see. Didn't do anything, but alright. Got like two Minecraft things actually, it looks like. For one was like broken and the other was not. Looks like you're both fine. I wonder if that's just why it's weird. Oh, yeah, it was that. That actually makes sense, actually. Alright, so I'm gonna put the graphics back down. There's always a wandering and stuff, but I just didn't want to capture the game. So laggy if I... But it's still kind of laggy. These graphics, so... don't need anything to be super high for this, so run around for a little bit. Test how things look. So little problems, but definitely a lot better than it was, so I'm just gonna go for it. Alright. I like hole in the wall. I do that one first. You gotta wait. Do exploring. I like walking around all these little areas. I haven't seen the back of this one yet. See, there's a dumpster. I am now on the dumpster. Dumpster lady. I am dumpster lady now. Whee! Bouncy! Bouncy now. Hop around in circles. Just the ones where you can just stay in the right place. Yep. Because I'm bouncy, I can jump over that one too. Bouncy, bouncy, bouncy. I was about to bounce off because it hit me a little bit. Stand right here. Alright. Alright, and I fell off. Just mess around with things in OBS while I'm not doing anything. Keeping it on the stream quality for a little bit. Really need to see about getting a Wi-Fi extender, so hopefully that will help with some things. Probably not everything. Only so how much I can do with just one laptop, but it's all I got right now. Hopefully better Wi-Fi in my room would be like less of a struggle if it trying to keep up with the stream. Like the upload speed of it. So let's place. Like, there's like 8 of us. It's a minimum of 8, so it's kind of bad, that one. Alright. Definitely better at this one than I am at like most other of the games, though. Whatever, I'm gonna be so better at this next round. I'm gonna do so good. Bouncy, bouncy, bouncy. I want to bounce over the gaps, but I can't do that until it actually starts. Oh, come on. Up. Alright, that was a little stupid. I was expecting I would have been able to just jump over that, but I guess not. I immediately die. Re-queue into another one. Cauldron. One's in the cauldron. They teleport out as they leave the cauldron. Bounce, bounce, bounce. Love bouncing. Bouncy, 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 bouncy. Woohoo! Alright. Alright, get those ones. And just gonna stand here. Yeah. Right here is good. Gotta push one off. Alright, so that one came down behind apparently. And I didn't make the jump. So I have to place again. Alright. Oh. That. And re-queue again. Where's the cauldron? I want to be in the cauldron while I wait to re-queue. Perfect. I'm at the cauldron now. I sit in the cauldron and I wait. bounce, bounce. Bounce, bounce, bounce. And alright. Same one right after another. This next one. Just move to the side a little. Oh! Oh! Swear this is the one I'm better at. Hi. Alright. I was able to do no one before I was able to sit in the cauldron. Yeah, hop around, wait. Stay hopping on this part. Made that jump that time. And I jumped over the thing. Alright, 8. Definitely better than the 11th of the last one. Oh, drink. That cauldron. Get a good sit it in before start again. How many were players in the last round if it came in 8th place? So is 8th place better than 11th, or were there not like even 11 people that time? I wasn't even able to pay attention to that. Trying to trick myself into thinking I'm doing better than I actually am right now. Well, I stopped in the right spot for that one. Oh. Oh. I just need a little bit. Oh, the inside of my ear is itchy. This is no good. Not now. Got an itchy ear right now. Wait, scratched it. This is a good spot to just wait. No! Do a different game. Not having luck with that one. Though it's like the only one I ever have luck with. But I like this one even though I'm not good at it, so I really don't care how bad I'll do in this one. I'll care for holding a while because I'm usually good, but apparently not today. Can feel like 50 times with this one and I'll still have fun. I just think this one's neat. Run up and down waiting. Woo. And I went off the side a little bit. Alright. Didn't even make that jump. Oh, maybe I'll make it in time. Come on, come on. Yeah, it's just in time. Alright. Don't think I've actually done this one before. Alright. Ah, fell into honey. Alright. And oh, it's that one. Shotgun scream to the pet stream quality for a second. One life this round. Oh. Nope. I gotta be careful. Don't care about the speed, just not dying. Alright, gotta build up. Yeah. Probably not. Oh. The box being right there is pretty useful. Looks like the stream might be slower than the actual game. Good. I was about to say it could be a little worse, but it's also like really slow with the game over part. So many problems fixed with how I stream. Well, I have 5, so hopefully the actual streaming part isn't like as tough. And I realized I needed like a new like power outlet thing for all the stuff I need to plug in between like hard drive that I have like a good amount of my games on, and that can only be used when it's actually plugged into an actual outlet because it's a big one. Apparently it needs its own power, not just the computers. And then the tablet, drawing on a tablet I use as a second display, keep track of chat. Pretty much need to keep the laptop plugged in the entire time I'm streaming, because it can go a while when I'm not streaming as long as it's fully charged without plugging it in. I obviously plug it in for a little bit, take it off, but streaming just definitely don't want to take a break and plug things in. Definitely too much for computer. All the way down there. Alright. I also have to plug in my phone if I'm using it for VTubing, because that needs to stay plugged in. So many things to be plugged in. Probably get a bigger thing for the extra USB, because I only got 2 extra. It's probably just be better to have more of those available besides 2. And now if the laptop stand, so the light and phone holder is too short. So I need to find something good to put that on top of. Tried these little bins of beads I have, and did definitely make the light high enough. I am not good at bridging and stuff. It's something I definitely need to actually learn how to do. That was funny to watch. It was perfectly fine wasting some of my own time just to watch that for a second. Low gravity. Apparently it's... all the way down. Go up. 2 out of 8. It's the sea. Any other people? Alright. So you're gonna leave because I want to do parkour. See? Actually, see if some of the see like any lag issues with that one. This part first. Alright. I made that one. Alright. This might be a little interesting. The lag. And also I'm just not that good anyways, even without lag. Admittedly. Oh, had a plan in mind. I fell anyways. Nope. Need to stay on the fence when I land on it. Please. That's gonna be my method, please. Let me just stay on the fence. Yeah. Yeah, that one was gonna go anyways, please. Oh, no. Got too anxious and started moving even when I didn't actually want to. Okay. Please, no. So close. Alright. Oh, don't mess it up. I'm so close. Don't mess it up. Whew. Do not care about time. I just care about completing. Alright. Definitely shift immediately because you definitely slide a lot on these. Ooh. Up a little bit. Alright. So close. I'm not having difficulty with that one anymore. This one might be a little tricky for me, maybe. Oh, yeah, that one's gonna be tricky for me now that I got the other one down. Ooh, sliding around. Maybe. Alright. Immediately shift. Immediately shift. Did he even jump that time? I'm just gonna go for it straight for now. Guess I got part with that one, but maybe I'll try again when I'm not streaming. So even though it's not that laggy, it's probably gonna run even smoother without me streaming anyways. Set. What? Oh yeah, it's neat. Just gotta time it. I was hoping that one, was expecting that one to come a little sooner. Didn't even jump that time. Alright. Come on. Get through this one. Ooh. Ah, come on. Eh. Alright. Careful not to jump just as they disappear. Even though I was struggling with the practice stuff. Oh, Jubal, yeah, I'm playing. Messing around with the parkour right now. Though it's not going super well for me, but I still like jumping around and stuff. I'm gonna try a slightly different parkour from what I was doing. Just gotta wait for more people to join. Stare at the fire while I wait. That's a good angle. Stare and wait. Okay. Sure. Yep, running. Sometimes that just stops working randomly. Yeah, sure. Alright. And hop around. Ah. Alright, got it in time. Good luck. Thank you. Never really gotten far in this one before, but I don't really think I need to shift that much. Just be very careful without it. Alright, quick. Ooh, close. Ah. And this is the glass, I'm pretty sure. I just right at the angle for the glass to be a problem. Maybe those blocks up there, just notice those. So close to the thing, just gotta, ah, and I fell. See that jump. Alright. And I have died. Kind of re-queue. Try another one. Go down or I wait for one more person to join. Yep. Need to turn on the running thing. Oh, people jumping around. Oh yeah, did I ever get the stand? Yeah, actually. My laptop is currently on the stand right now, so... And I mean... I'm not sure how much is, like, fixed specifically with the problem with, like, how much it lags and stuff, but... Definitely notice it's definitely, like... When I put, like, my hand next to the fans... It's definitely a lot harder. Actually not harder, but like less hot. I'm missing my words so much. Brain think too fast for the mouth. How am I gonna do that one? May not be like immediately fixed like all my issues, but probably like helpful to the laptop itself at least. It doesn't get too hot. So close. Died while I was close to the little edge of that one. Alright, rejoin another one. I think I'm gonna need like a number of flags for my streaming, because I've got like a lot of things to plug in now if I want to do like VTubing. I got like a good amount of games on like a big hard drive. That means it's like own power instead of just the computers, so I need like, so now that I got the stand, I'm gonna need like a bigger palette outlet thing, put all the stuff in. Probably wouldn't hurt to get like a bigger like extra USB port thing. Got one that's like, I only got like 2 extra right now than I already have. Probably need like a few more of those. However, I spent like the first year of my stream and just trying to figure out how much I like it before I like spent too much of money on it, but I mean, I've been streaming only did come back like took a long break, but did in fact over that year definitely learned that I do like streaming. So now I don't like have as much as a problem with like having to spend money on it just to get things working. As long as I get to do it. Alright. That one's easy. I don't think I've done this one yet. Jump around the edges. Ah. Got maybe a bit too excited with that one. I wasn't as careful as where I was looking with that one. Alright. I'm just gonna slide down. And hop up. Great. That one first. You know, I'm not gonna make it that far in this one. Yep, to die before I even was able to jump. Alright. Okay, 4, maybe one more, but maybe more after, or see at least one more, see if there's anything else I want to do. Either go back to that one, like that one, but there's enough player for that one because I don't think I haven't played that much of that one yet. It's also important that there's even enough players for there to be around to start. Alright, the run going. Start punching. Me, bump ahead, and fall. Wait is for a second. Alright, got there in time. And just missed on the last jump. And missed on the first jump. Just doing good for that one. Just missed. Alright. Alright, careful about the fences and how they get in my way. Slide around a little bit. Right. Hop up. Okay. Careful trying to reposition myself while I'm on reposition. Did I say it right the first time? Alright. Leave for a second. Though I don't think that one doesn't have them in QEQ. But alright, went from medium to high, so I'll give this one a shot. Hopefully there is enough players for a round to start. Oh wait, explore the map a little bit. Big ol' fan. There's the ladder to back up. There it is. Alright, definitely closer for enough people to play. Oops. Not stand on those. We'll stand this one then. Spin around. Spin around while I wait. Whee! Alright, show me these because I don't think I've actually played this one before. I think I tried, but there just wasn't enough players, so I went to it with another game. Alright. Come on, just last a little longer. No! Alright. Ooh, rainbow one. Alright. Now, I know they'll actually see what I'm supposed to do with this one. Hopefully I can go with it like a bit better. Wait for a couple more people to join. One more to join. And just gonna follow them around. What else do? Oh. Like pretty rainbow gradients. Just one long island for one long floating island for that one. Hey, someone really pushed me out of place. Alright. Gotta be prepared for that, I guess, too. This definitely seems like it's definitely a fun one. Probably gonna end up enjoying this one a lot, too. Alright, this is another one about to start. Hopefully it'll last. That's at least longer than immediately getting pushed out of place, immediately dying. And a little longer than the first attempt. One's right at the center, so I'm just gonna wait at the edge for a bit. Oh, don't fall off. Let's just start getting from underneath while I fall. There's like little small islands that come quickly after each other for that one. Alright, we queue for another one. goes back to a big one. Alright. Okay, so the next area is something we need to keep track of too with this one, so I can push out of place, just not falling in general. Keep track where like the little islands show up. I'm gonna play with this random trapdoor. Either a new game starts or it gets blown up. Hope the trapdoor doesn't blow up. Oh, it disappeared. It get blown up though, so that's good. Nice. Gonna lay at the edge. And that's a small one to start off with. And alright. Need to be close off the small ones, I guess. Kind of fly into the sun while I wait. Which sun do I want to fly into? I'll fly into that one. Move my head a little bit so I didn't completely cover in the sun. Where everyone else is compared to where I am now, because like, it just completely flew away. Probably somewhere. Ah. The last sun disappeared. Gonna fly back up, yep. And void. Alright. Alright, roll again. Let's see. I do like this one, even though I haven't gotten too far into it yet, but see how long of it's streaming. About an hour. It's the one gets the ice cream for bed, maybe. Maybe not immediately after this one, but maybe not a full half hour because it did start a little late. Just gonna let me get into the direction. Come on. Alright, and place top 8 in 15 rounds, and what was that? 8 hours. I have to complete 9 games for that one. Doesn't even have to just complete them. I'll leave just in case it restarts, but I'm actually gonna wait for these for a second. It's all just 8 hours, 8 hours. Alright, reach 5 or higher. Oh, I'm not that good at PvP, so probably it's not gonna happen with that one. I have at least 4 minutes or win one game of Dying Ball. Played that one much, and maybe it's not possible. For certain completions or higher. So standard just regular straight without the extra bonuses, but I'm having too much luck with my last attempt right now. I'm not that good at PvP, but Alyssa says is still complete 9 rounds, so let's see how many I can get through. Yeah, so I can earn stuff. Complete quest. See, glowing. And didn't pick a time, so glowing, blinding. Yeet. Still chase after this one. Alright, so fighting, not dying. Also capturing the point. I played a little bit of this one before, but I was just kept on almost dying immediately. Because I am generally not that good PvP. I tend on practicing, so let's just consider all this all practicing. Just my crossbow ready. Alright. Managed to kill at least one person. Yeah, I'm proud of myself for at least getting that much. You them. Oh yeah, I was definitely gonna get them. Yeah. I'm sure we'll get better. Yeah, I think where I tend on practicing like on the Hoplite server, because that isn't just like straight PvP, it also has like cool weapons, so it'd probably be gonna be fun to mess around with that one. I think someone was getting poisoned. Is that what that was? I already have it like saved on my servers list, but I actually haven't even entered that one yet. But I don't like watching Minecraft PvP videos and just messing around on that server and seeing how well I do. Maybe when I try these ones again after getting more practice, maybe be more confident in my abilities with these ones as well. Figure if like played Minecraft for like a decade, so it's like you get to go like be good at least a couple things. Maybe it's like just mess around and see what I can become good at. Best skill so far is probably building, and having something too fancy, at least not in survival, but oh, it's like different stuff this time. Or with levitation, I'll be able to like float and shoot from above. Alright. Alright, snuck up from behind. Got a couple shots in. And that's good for me. Purple team this time. Crossbow. We got everyone in that team actually. Did someone else get them? Yeah, alright. Those are like 3 of us fighting that guy all at the same time. You could probably run the stream this one, so I can have a snack for bed and watch some streams for myself. Alright. Definitely fun to mess around on MCCI while I'm streaming, because I just started playing that and this is my free time anyways. Get more in my stream. I'm gonna start punching this thing. Alright. Also good to test out how it runs while I'm streaming, which have to turn the graphics settings down. After that, it's not too much of a problem. I think the actual stream quality is worse than the game quality itself. Still a few problems, but definitely still possible, so you have a great rest of your day as well. Okay, just gonna take this and find the stop streaming button. Alright, there it is. Now stop the stream.